Hello, today we are going to talk about the three best options for cardio when you are dealing with prolapse. The number one best option for you if you are dealing with prolapse is walking. Walking is a great option for you when you are dealing with prolapse because it keeps everything moving. So you actually are working your pelvic floor while you are walking. You're working your core, you're working your back, you're working your hips. But the great thing about it is that it is low impact. So getting outside and walking is a great option for you if you're dealing with prolapse. The second cardiovascular exercise I would recommend to you if you are dealing with prolapse is biking. Biking you can do inside on a reclining bike or an upright bike, or you can go for a bike ride outside, which is even better because you get some sun in your eyes and some sun on your skin. So biking, it takes away all the impact, but again, it's a really great way to get your heart rate up. You know, you could do some inclines to really challenge yourself a little bit more than usual, and it takes away any of that impact that you would feel doing something else. The third best method of cardio exercise that I recommend is swimming. And this maybe should be my number one cardiovascular exercise for prolapse. Swimming is amazing for your core. It also really helps with your breathing. Regulating your breathing is really important when you're dealing with prolapse. And because when you're swimming freestyle specifically, you are holding your breath for portions of the time. That can be really great for your pelvic floor, for regulating the pressure in your core, in your pelvic floor area. There's a few different reasons why swimming can be so good for your pelvic floor. First of all, it's no impact. So that it takes all of that jarring away out of your exercise routine. So that is amazing. Secondly, you're in this horizontal position and you are strengthening your core while you are swimming. So if you are swimming horizontally, that is great. Your core is being strengthened, your low back is being strengthened, like everything is being strengthened. Plus, when you are swimming, you are using this very unique breathing pattern, which helps also with the pressure in your pelvic floor. So you're forced to hold your breath most of the time, depending on what strokes you're doing. But if you're doing freestyle, if you're doing breaststroke, you are having to regulate your breathing, and that can be really great for prolapse, really great for your core strength. And so that is why I really recommend that you swim if you are dealing with prolapse. Also, I feel like it's a really great way if you're in a lap pool to feel like a little competitive. There's other people in other lanes, you're swimming. And so swimming is a really great way to strengthen all the muscles that help support your pelvic floor and to help your breathing. And that is really important when you're dealing with prolapse. The fourth cardiovascular exercise I recommend if you are dealing with prolapse is stair climbing. Now there is stair climbing if maybe you live somewhere where there's bleachers and you can go up and down the stairs. That is great. I would recommend not bounding up the stairs, but actually like low impact. Low impact means that you always have one foot on the ground. So if you're doing a low impact workout, you always have a foot on the ground. So you step, then you step, and then that one comes up and you step. So what you wouldn't want is to be like running up the stairs. You'd want to be just walking up the stairs or climbing up the stairs because you want to limit that impact during the healing process of your prolapse. Also, my little tip is that if you have access to a gym, you will see the stair climber machine where you actually are walking up the stair. And to me, my heart rate will get up as high as running, but it takes away the impact. So I find that workout to be great. You can do sprints on there, but you always want to make sure that one foot is solidly on the ground before the other foot moves so that you are not doing anything in impact. But it would be really hard on one of those machines to actually do an impact workout. It pretty much is a step by step, but you can jack it up and do intervals of speed to get your heart rate up, which would feel really good if you are a workout junkie, a cardio junkie, and you really like to get your heart rate up. And as a little bonus, I'm going to share with you 2 cardiovascular exercise methods that I do not recommend while you are healing from a prolapse. Number 1 is running. Now, if you know anything about me, you know I've done multiple marathons. I've done half Ironman. I just turned 49. And I always thought when I turned 50, I would do a 50 miler. A miracle would have to happen for me to be ready for that by next year. So I love running, but when my prolapse was acute, I was really struggling with my prolapse. I did no running. So no running. That impact really does cause problems when you are dealing with prolapse. It is jarring. It is a no-go for acute prolapse. I'm not saying that you will never run again, but I'm telling you that it's not worth it and it will just prolong your prolapse. So I would take a break from running and do other things to maintain fitness and circle back around to running at another time. The second method of cardiovascular exercise that I would not recommend is rowing, specifically rowing on a rowing machine. Now, the reason for that is when you are on a rowing machine, you are doing very deep squats just by nature, right? The seat comes in, your knees are coming up, and you are towards the front, and you're kind of in this squished squat position before you extend your legs and you go to pull back. And that whole position really puts a lot of pressure down in your pelvic floor area, and that it would be a no-go for when you are dealing with acute prolapse symptoms. You just want to avoid that for now. If you love rowing, there's no reason why eventually you might not be able to get back to it. But for now, for the time being, I'm going to tell you that rowing would be wise to take a break from it for the time being. So that is it for me. That is 4 methods of cardiovascular exercise that you can do to your heart's content and should not bother your prolapse. Of course, if it does, then don't do it and do one of the other ones. And 2 that you want to avoid if you are dealing with any acute prolapse symptoms. My name is Jumelia. I've been a certified personal trainer for 25 years, a distance runner, done half Ironman. I've swam 8 or 9 miles across open water. I love cardiovascular exercise, and I am sharing with you the 4 methods that I found really helpful in order to help me get my cardio fix without putting more pressure on my pelvic floor and prolapse symptoms. If you have prolapse and you are dealing with the frustrations of prolapse, would love to have you. If you have any questions about prolapse, things that have been bothering you, post a comment below and it gives me ideas for new videos, and I will definitely make a video if you ask a question so that you will know more about how to heal prolapse and how to keep yourself healthy and active while your prolapse is healing. So that's it. My name is Jumelia, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.